Hey everyone, I am so excited to finally vlog this video. It has been probably like the most requested since I started this page and Ballet and Balance, but today I am going to be reviewing my Gaynor Mindens, and I'm so stoked because I have lots of pros and cons for you guys. And as a disclaimer, this is just my review of Gaynors. Please go out and do your own research. Please go out and try them for yourself. This is just one person's perspective, and this is one person's opinion, and my feet are totally different than yours. So, enough talk about that and my disclaimer. Let's get started. Just a little bit of background on me. I took 2 years off of point, and I'm just now coming back on to point, and so a large part of that is strengthening my feet to come back onto point. And that was one big reason why I got Gaynors, was because of that. Let's start with the pros. I'm gonna say this is my number one pro about them, is I literally don't have to wear anything with them. They are so comfortable on their own. They do even have a little cushion in the bottom for your toes, so you kind of feel like you have a built-in pad, if that makes sense. So it's just been wonderful to just tape my toes and tape the blisters and then roll through, and I'm done. That's it. That's all my preparation. So that has been absolutely wonderful. They fit my foot like a glove, and I love that about them. I've never had a shoe that fit me so well. Another pro that I have is they're very easy to roll through, to go from full point down and back up all the way to 3/4, everything in between. They're very easy shoes to roll through, and that was one reason I kind of went with them, because I wanted to build that strength back up, and I wanted to be able to roll through my foot easily to build back up that metatarsal strength. So they've actually been really, really, really good for them. They're very easy shoes to roll through. And I noticed that with my other shoes, like my Russian Saphirs, I kind of got that pop with them where I wasn't really able to go through my 3/4 point on them. And so with these, I don't really have that problem. So it's been nice to be able to finally roll through my shoes and build that strength up properly. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna show you why I love strengthening my feet in these Gaynors so much. So I'm just gonna do a roll through right now, and I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to roll through in these shoes. I mean, and there's no pop. With the other shoes that I have, for example, my Russians, I get a pop in those. With these, there's no pop whatsoever. I can totally build strength in my feet on my own without having that pop. It's just amazing. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little side view. So here's a little side view. Another pro that I have with them is they're already broken in, and this shoe in particular came in the green bag, and the green bag actually has the shank broken right in the middle, and so that's been good for me because I have a super high arch, and my arch kind of starts up higher. Maybe I'll show you guys. My arch starts a lot higher than most arches, so to have the shank break on the middle part has been the best in that it's kind of shelved my foot, but there is a con to that, which I will get to. My next pro is that they are plastic, so they are known to last longer. Because they're plastic, they can last you anywhere from a month to 6 months. Them being plastic is super helpful for someone that wants to save money, because if you are currently on point and have purchased point shoes, or are a parent that has bought point shoes, you know how expensive it can get. Now, the flip side to that is they're a little bit more expensive. So mine were $130. May vary from where you buy it from, but mine were $130. But you're getting a longer lasting shoe, so you could buy a $90 pair of pointe shoes every 2 weeks, or you could spend the $130 and have it last you a month or 6 months or anywhere in between. So that's kind of the trade-off with that. The other cool thing about the Gaynors is they're known as a ladle shoe, so that it means that the shank and the box are all one piece, and you can kind of see when I curve it in like that where the box ends and where the shank meets back here. So that's actually all one piece, and it's kind of a ladle shape, like a soup ladle. The next pro that I have to them is, since I put them on, they haven't really changed shape. Whereas with my other shoes, the box will expand, or the shank will die, but the box won't die. Or I've seen with other students, their box will die, but their shank's not dead yet. These have remained consistent since the first day I put them on. They haven't really changed. Where they do start to break down, and why a lot of girls go to get their second pair in them, because I know you're probably thinking, okay, well, if it's plastic and the shank doesn't die and the box doesn't die, then why do people return them? There's a lot of sweat that builds up in here, and I will kind of insert a picture. But basically, this all inside is padding, and it is super cushiony, but it absorbs like all the sweat. All of it. People will notice that it just gets grimy in that sense and too sweaty, and they feel, yeah, like it's breaking down in that sense. Or for some people with super strong feet, the plastic will actually start to give a little more, but that's very further down, like 6-8 months down the road. But for me, they haven't changed, so that's my other pro with them. My next pro is that they are so easy to turn in. And I'm a little surprised because the box is smaller than I'm used to. The platform is smaller than I'm used to. So I thought that turning would be hard in them, but it's actually super easy, and it's just a dandy time to turn in these. I love it. But that leads me into my cons. So one of my pros was that they are kind of already broken in to begin with. The con to that is they're almost too broken in, and they're too soft, and I got the hard shank, so if this is the hardest it gets, I think it's a little bit too soft for me, especially because I am not a petite dancer, so I feel like I'm almost sinking into the shoe, and I kind of like the feeling of breaking in my own shank and getting it to break where I want it to, especially if you're a dancer, you know where to break it and where it fits right and where you like it broken into, and you can kind of shape it to that. With the Gaynors, I just don't really have that option. So that's kind of the trade-off with that. My next con is that because the shank and the box are all one piece and it's plastic, I feel like I'm kind of swimming in a pool of my own sweat, especially when I'm dancing when I've already warmed up and I start my center work. I feel like I'm swimming in my own sweat. Kind of just, there's nowhere for it to go, whereas other shoes that are made with paste and paper, your sweat kind of absorbs your sweat, and that's why you get your box expanding, and that's where you get the broken inness of other shoes. This does not do that. It all kind of just accumulates in the box and doesn't really have anywhere to go. One of my other cons with the shoe, and I know this is so silly, feel free to laugh at this, but they get dirty really fast. I know that's so silly, but I feel like they get dirtier faster than my other pointe shoes do. Sorry guys, technical malfunctions. But about their FAQs, the question was, are Gaynor Minden suitable for beginners? And the answer that Gaynor Minden gave back was absolutely. What's most important is that the shoes fit properly and that the stiffness of the shank is appropriate for the dancer's strength and size, but that they will start them with a softer shank. So I would leave that up to you, your teacher, and your fitter's discretion. Personally, I would let a beginner start in Gaynors because, at least for me, I love that I can roll through my shoe, and that is one thing I work so hard on with my point dancers, especially my beginning point level 1 point dancers, is that rolling through to build that metatarsal strength, because that is so crucial for center work. And that's just in my opinion. Do whatever you want, do your own research. I would put a beginner dancer in gainers simply because I feel like it builds the strength in that foot that they need, especially in the roll through. And then especially if they can start in a softer shank, they can work their way to a harder shank. I don't really see what the problem is with that. But again, your own discretion, you, your teacher, and your fitter, that's for you to decide. Okay, this is kind of the last point I wanted to make. The question on the FAQ was, should point shoes be fitted with room to grow? And their answer was never. And their reasoning for that was because they're already broken into fit. They're not gonna change. I mean, it's just a point shoe that you can even see right now is naturally curved. It's naturally gonna fit your shoe. There's no growing, there's no real breaking in except for the material, the lining absorbing sweat. There's no real breaking down, and maybe the cushion in the bottom of the point shoe, but yeah, you wouldn't need room to grow, because in other shoes where it's maybe the box is a little too tight, you know that the paste and the glue will wear down. These won't. It's plastic. It's not going to change. How you get it fit on the very first day is the way it's going to stay until the day you decide to change it. So that's my review on Gaynor Mindens. I think I also want to add that I am going to continue to strengthen my feet in these shoes, but I want to go back to my Russian Saphirs, maybe even my Grishko 2007 Pros, because that's another shoe that I love. That's great for my arch and for my foot. Again, please take everything I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Look up the FAQs for your site on their site. Do your own exploring, talk to your teacher. Don't just buy gainers because they're gonna be, and this is for parents as well, don't just go with the gainers because it's gonna be cheaper in the long run. Go with the gainers if it fits the girl's foot right, or guy's foot right, and it's the proper shoe for them. There's so many point shoes out there to choose from. This is just one of them, and this is just a review of that. So go do your own research. Look at other reviews. Maybe there's something I missed that someone else is gonna tell you. I don't know. Anyways, bye everyone.